What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates every day on Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the charts. Everybody is so bullish right now. Are we going to get another leg up, or was this it and we're going to continue down from here? We'll talk about that. We're going to take a look at a couple more things. We're going to take a look at the hype cycles. And yeah, if that sounds interesting, stick around, and definitely don't forget to check out the free Discord group. There's a link below in the description. It's an awesome community, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Do your own due diligence and your own research before doing any trading or investing in any market. And don't forget, we're doing a Kobo Vault Generation 2 hard wallet giveaway. All you have to do to enter to win is make sure you are subscribed to the channel, smash that like button, take a second out, leave a comment down below, and Sunday I'll be picking a random comment from a random video throughout the week. Do not forget to smash the like button to get this video out, and let's get into it. So we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin news headlines just to get a feel for the sentiment. And let's start off with Bitcoin flat at 11.2. DeFi has highest volume month ever. That is the DeFi hype. We're going to talk about that. Square stock surges after ballooning Bitcoin interest drives huge revenue beat. Older investors go for gold, younger ones Bitcoin. JP Morgan says Bitcoin's pause may serve as a consolidation before a push higher. Bitcoin's flash crash and recent rally explained. I want to buy all the Bitcoins. Portnoy tells Winklevoss twins. I don't know if you've seen about that, but check it out. It's pretty interesting. Bitfinex offers 400 million reward for return of 1.3 billion stolen Bitcoin. And obviously the news is very bullish in the headlines. Fear and greed index is at 75, raised 3 points from yesterday, still in the greed zone. We're going to take a look at Litecoin's hype cycle first before we get into the Bitcoin charts. And last year was Litecoin's year. It led this rally, and that was all because of the halving hype on Bitcoin. As you can see, it rallied all the way up to, let's get this off of here. Rallied all the way up past the 0.236, about halfway to the 0.382 retracement before crashing down, and Bitcoin, everything else crashed down with it. Now let's look at Ethereum. It has just crossed the 0.236 as of now. If it did the same thing, got in between, would be around the $490 to $500 range if it did the same. But as you can see, it has not even rallied as high as Litecoin did percentage wise. So that's why I'm leery of this whole move. I don't believe that, you know, this is it. This is the beginning of the big bull market, because everybody thinks that. Less likely that it's to be. Let's look at, this is what Litecoin got off, or I'm sorry, Bitcoin got off the Litecoin hype. This is the Ethereum 2.0 DeFi hype. Same DeFi, guys. Basically, if you ask me, it's just another scam, just like the ICO. I'm not saying that you can't make money off trading it and trading the alts. If you're a trader, definitely, you know, you can make money off it. But if you're an investor, I don't believe in any of that crap. I don't know. Do your own research. Don't listen to just what YouTubers say, including myself. I mean, dig in and do your own research. Research isn't turning on YouTube and listen to what a YouTuber says about a project. That's not research. Do your own research. A lot of these guys get paid to tell you what they're telling you on the channel. So just be careful, guys. I hate to see a lot of people lose a lot of money. But anyways. So what we're looking at here, obviously you can see Bitcoin. Let me show you something real quick. This is the trend line we've been watching. We are getting support on it now. It's around the 11,150 range in the monthly. Volume's still declining, as you can see. Let's take a look at the weekly. Whoops. All right, looking at the weekly, we'll take a look at the bullish case and the bearish case throughout this. Now we're starting off in a higher time frame, so that doesn't mean it's something you're going to see today. Then we go down to the lower time frames towards the end of the video and look at the more immediate price action. So yeah, a lot of people don't understand that, but probably should figure it out. Anyways, still declining volume in the weekly. We had a big spike here, but it's still below the old spikes over here. Could we jump up to the 16,000 in the bullish case? We could. Looking at the falling broadening wedge here to where we broke out up here gets us up to about 16,000. If we look at this bigger triangle here in the thicker white trend lines where we broke out right here, that would be a move to 27,000. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. Going up from here to the 27,000 range is going to be probably about it if this is the bull run. I would much rather see another correction and a slow move up, and we could see much higher highs in the coming years. But as of right now, another thing I wanted to talk about, Litecoin's year was last year, Ethereum's year is this year, and I believe next year will be the start of Bitcoin's year. That's my opinion. So anyways, looking at the EMAs, the EMAs are obviously extremely bullish. We are breaking back above this trend line here. I don't think it's going to hold in my opinion, but we'll take a look at the price targets anyways. Don't forget also, if you want to help support the channel, it's my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. There's a link below in the description. I'll leave one in the pinned comments also, along with some other affiliate links that really help the channel out. But yeah, a lot of cool quality stuff in here. If you have a different coin or whatever you want on here, she can do that. Just hit her up in the contact. And let's look at the gaps real quick before we get into the daily. And then we'll move on down to the 4 and the 1 hour. So we did not close that gap up at 11,795 yet. Some people are saying we did, but if we look in close, zoom in, we did not. We just missed it. That could be it. That could have been, you know, a lot of people up here waiting for the gap to get closed, and it just kind of faked it out, did not do it. That is one possibility, and that we continue down from here, which is what I believe is going to happen. But then we have this gap all the way down here at right around 96.70. I do believe that will fill. We also have a gap all the way down here at about 7,600. It's another gap, and this is in the 8 hour. This one obviously shows up on the daily. But we also have a gap all the way down here, and it's funny that people, you know, think there's no way it can, and I'm not saying it has to fill, but there's so many people that laugh and say there's no way to fill. There is definitely a possibility we come down and close this gap. Whether you want to believe it or not, I know a lot of people are so bullish, they hate to hear anything that says any different. That's pure emotion, guys, so just be aware of that and be careful. All right, another thing I want to point out, lower highs. That's all we have made until we break this 14 or 13,800. We're still making lower highs. I know people are saying, well, we broke the 10.5. We did break the 10.5, but we're still lower highs until proven different. I do want to point out, though, as you can see in the RSI over here, overbought, and a lot of people think when you're overbought that you just go straight down. Well, you can see what happened here. We were overbought, had a small correction, traded sideways, got a higher high, did it again up here. Looked like that was the top, and you can see what happened after that. So anyways, just be aware of that. It definitely is possible that we remain bullish up here and get another higher high. I wouldn't be surprised if we jumped up, closed this gap real quick, and then shot down. So be careful there. We do have these lower targets down here we've discussed many times on the channel. I'm going to look at this now. So this is another look at the, you know what? Let me look at the RSI. I don't think we took a look at the RSI on the weekly. There's one thing I wanted to point out here. As you can see, the trend lines I have in here on the weekly, we could get a push up this week and close up in this area on the RSI. If we close above it, bull run has begun, in my opinion, but I just don't think we'll close above this. We could get all the way up to that between 13 and 16,000, and then reverse from there. But it does look like we may be reversing here, in my opinion. Even though, you know, you look into smaller time frames, we're getting a little pump today. Everybody gets super bullish. Just be careful with that, guys. All right, let's take a look at where we're at here on the daily. So we get the RSI out of our way. Swing low to the swing high, Fibonacci retracements. Remember, we have this support at 10,560 roughly. And if that breaks, our first retracement level would be the 0.236. Now, mind you, that's if this is the top here. So the 0.236 would be about 10,187. 0.382 about 8,950. And 0.5 around 7,980. Then we have our golden pocket zone, which is around the 6,900 would be the center of it. But it goes from 6,730 to 7,000. If that was to break, we could be looking at a $5,600 Bitcoin. If that was not to hold, we could be going down to close that gap. I do believe if we did that, it would be a quick wick down and shoot back up to take anyone's stops that long here. I'm not saying it has to happen, but with everybody so bullish, this is usually when a market takes a huge dive to shake everybody out. The whales that dump it will come back in, buy it at the bottom, get a lot more for a lot cheaper, and continue up from there, making people that sold scared buy higher. So keep that in mind. I still believe that's a good possibility, no matter how bullish everybody seems to be right now. Let's look at the RSI on the daily here. So we've came up, obviously tagged the top of this falling channel again. Does look like we may get a little push higher, like I said, but I do believe it's time for this to come down unless we do one of these numbers and it just gets super bullish. I would rather see a bigger correction first, but that's my opinion. And in all honesty, a lot of people say, you know, I'm biased to going down or whatever. I have a HODL position. I love for Bitcoin to go up. Don't get me wrong. I love to watch my portfolio grow without doing anything, just sitting there. So anyone that thinks you get wrecked because you're looking for lower lows, I have a HODL position. So either way is fine with me. I'm just showing you guys my opinion, what I believe is happening here. We do have a target up here also at around that $17,000 range. Yeah. So anyways, that's something to look for. If we did, that would be coming up to retest the top of this trend line. I believe would happen maybe this month. But again, guys, I just don't see it. We're getting some resistance here around the 11.4, 11.5 range right now. Go into the 4 hour. All right, so looking at the 4 hour, like I said, we have the $17,000 range. And what that is looking at, let me move this over a little bit. That's looking at this as a neckline, this as a head and shoulders here, this being the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Taking a measure move from the neckline, the whole length of the head here, all the way up, gets us to that $17,000 range. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Something to be aware of. But let's look at this rising broadening wedge here in pink. If we did come up to test the bottom of this old support, become new resistance again, could be anywhere between let's see, we're on the 4 hours, so if it was to happen in the next couple days, anywhere between 12.6 to 12.7, I would look for some rejection there. If we blow through that, obviously we have much higher to go. Now let's zoom in a little bit. We're looking at this white rising channel. We broke out of it here, and as of right now, we are fighting with that trend line. Let's take a look. And we are definitely sitting right on it. Now let's zoom in a little bit more and look for some divergence. We are sitting back on top of all our EMAs here. Let's stretch this out a little. So as of right now, we are straight across here, depending on how this 4 hour closes. If we close below 11,420. We're going to have hidden bearish divergence here. So keep that in mind. We're making higher highs in the RSI, and we're actually even, which is exaggerated divergence on the price action. But again, a close below 420 would most likely validate that as hidden bearish divergence. Also, volume still declining. Price seems rising here, volume declining. So be careful, guys. Let's look at the 1 hour. All right, so the 1 hour, I've moved the dotted trend lines here, looking more like a rising broadening wedge, which we have had 1, 2, 3 tests of this bottom trend line, 2 tests of the top. There's that 12.7 if we did come up, break up through here. But I want to zoom in and take a look at one more thing here. And looking at the 1 hour, same thing. We're seeing that divergence here. We do have the Fibonacci retracements from this swing high to this swing low here. Our golden pocket zone is somewhere around the 11,550 range. But as of right now, you can see we're getting rejected on this trend line. Break above the 11,455, 460 range. Most likely we will go test 11,550. Excuse me. And after that, the 11,795, which would close the gap. That's also the 0.786. So it wouldn't surprise me to get a huge wick up here and then a drop after that. So be cautious. I know a lot of people talk about M's and W's. You know, I don't necessarily believe in the M's and W's at all. So as of right now, like I said, we're getting rejected. If we look here, this looked like a rising channel that we broke down out of here. The measured move of that, unless we break up back into it, the measured move of that still lies down here around, actually a little bit higher, right around the 10,790, 10,800. And then if we look at this whole thing as a flagpole, and this being a bear flag, take the measured move of that to where it broke down. That gets us all the way down to 9,629. That would close the gap down there. We also keep an eye on this trend line right here on the bottom. If we did come all the way back down to test that, depending on how quick within the, this week, next week, if we were to come straight down now, it'd be around 9,300. And if we, could take weeks and be 9,600. So we could look for, if this came down to hit this target of 9,600, could be as long as August 26th, the end of this month sometime. But I don't know. I think it's going to happen quicker than that. We should see some resolve here, but we'll see what happens. And let's take a measured move of this whole thing as a rising broadening wedge. If we took it down here, that would get us around the same area. That'd get us around the 9,500. So keep that in mind. I do think we're most likely going to come test these levels down here, guys. And again, that's my opinion. If we look at where the RSI is on the 1 hour, even if we shoot up to that 95, 9,600 like I was talking about, we're still most likely going to make some bearish divergence here, some hidden bearish divergence, because our RSI will come up into this range, and our price action, could go as high as that 11.7 or 11.8, and that would still make hidden bearish divergence here. So be aware of that. Zoom back in and look at that trend line while we're on here. We are getting rejected here, so let's see what happens. It's cutting it kind of close. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me to see a huge fast wick up to get all the bulls in, get crazy, and then liquidate them and just shoot down from there after closing that gap. As of right now, if this holds as resistance, I just see us continuing down from here. But again, keep an eye out for a possible fast wick up to that $11,800 range, somewhere in there. I think that's about it for these. I do have a target here down at the 10,000 also, and that was off of the way I had the trend lines yesterday. I changed them a little, but I'm still going to keep that target there because it still makes a lot of sense. If we do break this 10.5, guys, it gets pretty bearish. We'll probably hit the 10,000, get support, come back up, retest this. If we get rejected, then we'll come down to these lower lows. And then if we want to get real ugly, let's take a look at this rising channel, which if this plays out bearish, this would have been a bull trap, obviously. And if this plays out bearish, we break down below these levels, that could get us down into the $7,000, $7,500 range. Keep that in mind. If you guys are interested in trading, I'm going to leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. Definitely check it out if you are interested. You can trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, everything on that. If you use my promo code Savy50, you get 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus, up to 1 Bitcoin. And Savy25 will get you 25% off your fees. Definitely check it out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm out. Take it easy.